Hey, in today's video, I'm talking about a 7-day fat flush plan to burn dangerous belly and liver fat. In fact, if you have a protruding belly or cellulite, you have dangerous visceral fat around your organs. And in this video, I'm gonna go through a 7-day plan to get your body burning through visceral fat so you can have a better physique, but more importantly, have better energy, better mental clarity, less inflammation, and a lower risk of chronic disease. I'm going to talk about the best foods to flush fat, the best exercise to burn through that dangerous fat around your liver, and I'm going to talk about a specific meal plan to get your body burning fat even while you sleep. See, when you have excess visceral fat around your organs, that fat, not only does it choke off blood supply to your major organs like your liver, like your heart, but it also releases inflammatory compounds like interleukin 6. And as interleukin 6 is released, it drives up C-reactive protein. We know that higher levels of C-reactive protein are associated with heart disease, cancer, dementia, Alzheimer's, diabetes, and fatty liver disease. And so it's really critical that we're able to burn through this visceral fat to allow for better circulation into all of our major organs and lower levels of these inflammatory metabolites in our bloodstream. So I'm gonna go through the best foods, the best exercises. I'm gonna talk about sun exposure and how to prioritize and optimize your sleep to get your body burning fat. So let's start. In the beginning of the day, on day one, I want you to wake up and get out and move. Take a 20-minute walk outside. In fact, I want you to take 3 20-minute walks each day on this 7-day plan. When you're walking, not only are you burning calories, but on top of that, you're improving your overall circulation, your lymphatic drainage. That's gonna help your body detoxify. We can't just do this plan with food because then we don't get the optimal circulation. So the walks help improve circulation, oxygen delivery to all the cells of your body. Ultimately, what we want to do is strengthen your mitochondrial function. Your mitochondria will produce all the cellular energy and they burn fat for fuel. So you're only going to burn fat based on the health of your mitochondria. The healthier your mitochondria, the better your body's going to be able to burn fat. Those walks will start to wake up the mitochondria and get them burning fat for fuel. It'll also help improve circulation. It'll help improve neurotransmitter function. So you'll actually be happier. You'll think better thoughts. You'll have more creativity and innovativeness. And you'll just feel better about yourself. While you're walking, I want you to say affirmations like, I'm strong and healthy and I'm flushing this excess fat off of my body. Just saying affirmations like that will help you feel happier and will help give you momentum when it comes to burning fat for fuel. Now, on top of the walks, I want you to make sure you're prioritizing strength training. Do 20 to 30 minutes of strength training 3 to 4 days out of this 7-day plan. And you want to change muscle groups. So one day you're going to do upper body, the next day you're going to do lower body. Okay, so if you do upper body on Monday, you do lower body on Tuesday, take Wednesday off, Thursday do upper body again, Friday do lower body, Saturday take off. You're going to do something along those lines that's going to allow you to really hit and target all the major muscle groups. You also want to make sure you're doing compound exercises. That's going to be things like, for example, for your legs, squats, deadlifts, and lunges. That works multiple muscles in your leg. In fact, your whole leg, all the muscles in your legs get worked when you're doing lunges, squats, deadlifts, and you're also activating your core as well. When you're doing upper body, you want to do push-pull exercises. That's going to be things like push presses, pull-ups, or pull-downs. Okay, it's going to be things like bent over rows. That's going to work the largest amount of muscle mass. Stimulating that muscle mass is going to allow you to burn fat more effectively for fuel, and it's going to elevate hormones like testosterone that turn on natural fat burning and muscle building. The more lean body mass, the more muscle and bone tissue you have, the better you're going to be at burning fat. So make sure you're prioritizing that sort of strength training. Now let's talk about meals. I recommend doing 2 meals a day. You want to get 50 or more grams in each meal. Typically, when we look at beef, for example, there's about 7 grams of protein per ounce of beef. So if you're eating ground beef or steak, in order to get to 50 grams of protein, you're going to need a lot. You're going to need about 7 to 8 ounces of beef, of steak, or of ground beef. Okay. Typically, you get a pound of ground beef at 16 ounces. Okay, there's roughly about 100 to 120 grams of protein in that pound of ground beef. So about a half a pound will get you that 50 plus grams. If you're eating chicken, there's about 8 grams of protein per ounce of chicken. So make sure you're getting enough, 7 ounces or so, 6-7 ounces of chicken in each of your meals. So you wanna make sure you're hitting that 50 gram threshold. That's gonna stimulate muscle protein synthesis. So you're gonna be able to actually stimulate muscle growth, and that's going to also give you natural satiety where you're feeling satiated. It's gonna help you burn fat more effectively for fuel. You also wanna make sure you're not eating processed sugar or seed oils because you gotta minimize chemicals and toxins. The more chemicals and toxins you get into your system, the more your body's gonna hold on to fat. We know seed oils, for example, poison your mitochondria. When you have damaged mitochondria, you're not gonna be able to burn fat effectively for fuel. We know chemicals like pesticides and herbicides and microplastics, all of those things damage the mitochondria. Again, damaged mitochondria equals poor fat burning. So minimize our exposure to chemicals, toxins, all the seed oils like corn oil, soybean, safflower, cottonseed oil. Let's get rid of that stuff. Get rid of the processed sugars. Stick with healthy fats. That's going to be coming from your grass-fed animal products, your wild-caught fish, pasture-raised eggs. It's also going to come from things like avocados, high polyphenol extra virgin olive oil, and coconut oil. Those all are really healthy fats that are going to help you burn fat more effectively for fuel. You also want to eat colorful fruits and vegetables, things like broccoli, cauliflower, bell peppers, tomatoes, pomegranates, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, carrots, things like arugula, which is really good, radishes, onions, garlic, all really good for your body. You want to take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in water before each meal. So take 1 tablespoon and roughly 4 to 8 ounces of water. Drink that roughly about 15 minutes before your meal. That apple cider vinegar will stimulate stomach acid, bile production, and digestive enzymes so you can metabolize your meal more effectively, absorbing the nutrients from that meal. And also the apple cider vinegar has acetic acid in it, which helps strengthen the mitochondria. So your mitochondria become better at burning fat for fuel. You also want to drink organic coffee. If you do okay with coffee, drink organic, mold and mycotoxin-free coffee that is either low or medium roast. You see, there's something in coffee. It's called chlorogenic acid, CGA. The chlorogenic acid, along with another compound, caffeic acid, are really good at balancing blood sugar. They stimulate a pathway in our cells called AMPK pathway, which stimulates fat burning. It also stimulates autophagy, or the breakdown of old, damaged cellular organelles and the rebuilding of new, healthy cellular metabolites and cellular components. And so when we're drinking this high CGA coffee, light or medium, mold, mycotoxin-free coffee, we actually get stronger, healthier mitochondria that can burn fat more effectively for fuel. If we don't like coffee, we can do green tea or other herbal teas. Things like, for example, bergamot tea actually has compounds in it that are really good at stimulating mitophagy as well. So you can drink a citrus bergamot tea or green tea, and those work fantastic, as well as the organic mycotoxin-free coffee. Now, most coffees out there are full of toxins. They're full of pesticides, herbicides, mycotoxins. If you're going to like a coffee shop and you're getting it in styrofoam cups, you're getting the styrofoam, the microplastics, you're getting tons of toxins. So it's best to brew it at your house, get a mold or mycotoxin-free coffee. I like Life Boost coffee, and I always get a low to medium roast so I can maximize the amount of CGA and caffeic acid that's in that coffee. Now, other bitter herbs like arugula, ginger, radishes, parsley, cilantro, lemon, lime, onions, and garlic are all really good for flushing fat out of your body because they help improve bile flow. When bile is flowing really well, it's moving toxins out of your body and it's helping you improve your ability to metabolize fat, absorb fat-soluble nutrients like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K, and burn fat more effectively for fuel. So let's talk about intermittent fasting. The first day 1 to day 3, I recommend doing a 16 to 18 hour fast. So you're gonna eat your meals in roughly a 6 to 8 hour eating window. What does that look like? It could be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. or it could be from 8 a.m. to 2 or 4 o'clock p.m. Or it could be from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. You want to condense your meals where you're eating your 2 meals in roughly 6 to 8 hours, somewhere in that time frame. Day 4 to day 2, or really day 4, we're going to do a more extended fast. So it'll be like a 20 to 24 hour fast, right? On that day, you're going to eat either 2 meals in a 4-hour eating window or 1 meal that day, right? And doing kind of a full 24-hour fast. That's going to really ramp up autophagy. So when we do the 16 to 18-hour fast, we're lowering insulin levels, stabilizing our blood sugar, and burning fat. We're turning up fat burning. Day 4, we're turning up the breakdown of old damaged mitochondria and the recycling process. So we create new, healthy, stress-resilient mitochondria that are going to burn fat more effectively every day ongoing. Day 5 and 6, we're going back to the 16 to 18-hour fast. And then finally, day 7, we're doing a full 24-hour fast. So if you finished your last meal on day 6 at, let's say, 6 p.m., you're going to fast until 6 p.m. the next day. What can you drink or eat during that fast? Well, you don't eat anything, but you can drink apple cider vinegar and water. You can drink herbal tea. You can drink that high CGA coffee, and that works great to help your body burn fat more effectively for fuel, get your body into that state of autophagy where you're breaking down old, damaged cellular components and regenerating them and creating new, healthier mitochondria and new, healthier cells that can burn fat effectively for fuel. See, the idea of this 7-day fat flush is not to just burn all this fat during those 7 days, but to actually get your body so metabolically healthy that you're burning fat for fuel every day afterwards. Now, what are some of the best supplements you can use? Things like berberine, milk thistle, N-acetylcysteine, a good multivitamin with chromium. Now, something like that you always want to take with meals, so you don't take that during your fasting window. Same with zinc. Zinc can be a really helpful supplement here, but you don't want to take it during a fasting window. You always want to take that with meals. Magnesium you can take with or without meals, B vitamins as well, and then fat-soluble nutrients like vitamin A or vitamin D or something like that. You always want to take that with a meal. While you're doing this process, you want to maximize good quality sun exposure. So I recommend getting out, getting sunshine early in the day. We talked about taking a 20-minute walk. Watch the sunrise. You're going to get high amounts of infrared light as well as red light, which are great for charging your mitochondrial battery and enhancing mitochondrial health. Around midday, you're going to get UV light, which helps stimulate vitamin D production and also has great benefits for mitochondrial health. And then in the evening, watching the sun set, that's going to give you higher levels of infrared and red light to help set you up for great sleep. You see that light exposure, particularly the infrared, you don't see infrared. It's actually an invisible form of light. That infrared actually helps tell the mitochondria to produce more melatonin. Melatonin is the most powerful antioxidant in the mitochondria. And that melatonin, although we think about it as a sleep hormone, most of your mitochondria is actually being produced and utilized in your mitochondria. It protects the mitochondria from oxidative stress. Again, the healthier your mitochondria, the better you're going to burn fat. So getting exposure, getting outside in the sun will help protect your mitochondria and get them to burn fat more effectively for fuel. At night, once it gets dark after sunset, make sure you dim all the lights in your house. Make sure you put on blue light blocking glasses. That's going to protect you from damaging blue light. That's going to help you produce more melatonin, more growth hormone, so you can really burn fat all night long while you're sleeping and rejuvenate all your cellular structures, rejuvenate the neurotransmitters in your brain so you can think sharper and quicker, have more energy, and feel lighter and healthier during the day. Now, it's always important when you're taking walks, right? We talked about 3 20-minute walks. I recommend practicing something called horizon gazing. This is where you're looking out on the horizon. You don't have to do this the whole time you're walking, but I recommend spending at least half the time you're walking looking out at the clouds, at the trees that are far up ahead of you, looking at whatever's in your horizon, looking out far away. That stimulates a part of your nervous system called your parasympathetic nervous system. That's the part of your nervous system that's associated with relaxation, with calmness, with stimulating healing and deep cellular function. And so by looking way out in the horizon, you get out of fight or flight and put your body into a state where it can heal and burn fat more effectively. Finally, I want you to focus on laughter. Find ways to laugh. Also, really find positive relationships and embrace gratitude. You see, when you're laughing, there's plenty of things to laugh at. In fact, the most important thing to laugh at is yourself. There should be plenty of opportunities every day to laugh at the things that you're doing. That's gonna be lighthearted. That's gonna stimulate more oxytocin and more endorphins that make you feel good. And that's gonna turn up fat burning and cellular healing. So find ways to laugh. Watch comedies on TV. Find ways to laugh at yourself. Laugh with friends. In fact, having positive influences, positive friends, a spouse, your children around you will stimulate more oxytocin, which helps balance stress hormone. So it helps lower your stress hormones. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel really good, gives you more energy and motivation to follow through on a program like we're talking about, this 7-day fat flush program. When you're not having positive relationships and you're not laughing, you don't feel as good. You turn to food as a crutch to kind of give you an emotional boost. That's not what we want to do. So find ways to laugh, have positive relationships, and embrace gratitude. Be grateful every step along the way. Find ways to be grateful. Be grateful that for this day, you have a set of fingers. For this day, you had a bed to sleep on. There's so many things you could be grateful for each and every day. The more you practice laughter, positive relationships, and gratitude, the more you turn up something called oxytocin, which balances out your stress hormones, reduces cravings, turns up fat burning, and deep cellular healing, and you just feel better. You feel happier and more joy-filled. So try that out today. That is your 7-day fat flush program, and share this with somebody that you know and that you care about. In fact, you're gonna actually get better results when you do this plan with somebody that you know and that you care about. So share it with somebody and follow this plan together with them. We'll see you in a future video. Be blessed.